Just wanted to show this meeting with Mark Carney, the Canadian Prime Minister, overnight, because my thesis is Anthony Albanese won't be doing this. Mark Carney's second meeting there, you'll hear him here in the Oval Office in front of reporters suck up to Donald Trump. And it doesn't really work because Trump then goes on about the 51st state again. But have a listen to this. I'm saying Anthony Albanese won't do this because he'll be worried about the domestic political audience and how they view it back home.
You kindly hosted me and some of my colleagues a few months ago, and I said at the time, you are a transformative president. And since then, the transformation in the economy, unprecedented commitments of NATO partners to defense spending, peace from India, Pakistan through to Azerbaijan, Armenia, disabling Iran as a force of terror, and now, and I'm running out of time, but this is in many respects the most important.
The merger of Canada and the United States.
That wasn't where I was going.
I'm surprised he didn't say he should get the Nobel Peace Prize.
Who cares? I mean, it's a detail. It's a detail.
Well, I hope you had a fantastic Monday, Canada. Welcome to The Last Word here on Bakes on Things. Hey, are you sick of it yet? And when you look in my comments, when you look in Jasmine's comments, David's comments, Northern Perspective's comments, the Liberals that always use the argument, Canada's loved around the world, Mark Carney is loved around the world. You remember those? Kind of getting sick of them? I am too. I've kind of officially snapped on all of these things. I've kind of had it up to wherever with Liberal superfans piling into all these comment sections yelling, the whole world loves Mark Carney, conservatives. The world loves Canada. Conservatives are just too dumb to get it. No, we're not. Really? Okay. The world loves us, do they? They adore Mark Carney. Mark, please don't hurt me, Mr. Trump Carney. Mark, lick your boots, Mr. Trump Carney. Is that right? Let's go.
Welcome to Bakes on Things.
When was the last time you spoke to the president? And as you diversify trade away from the U.S., what's your red line? Like when you, in terms of dealing with other countries, I mean, what are the conditions where you won't do business with another country no matter how much money it has?
Well, I think let me answer the second part of that, which is there's levels of engagement with countries. Our partnership with the European Union, for example, is at a level prospectively that is unmatched with other jurisdictions because we have similar values in terms of privacy, for example. We have similar values in terms of sustainability. We have similar values in terms of workers' rights. We have similar values, to go to the previous question, in terms of gender equality, LGBTQ rights. And all of that reflects, so the level of economic cooperation, defense cooperation, security cooperation. We have similar views about territorial integrity in Ukraine as well. So our level of cooperation with the European Union, with the United Kingdom, is on a different level than our level of cooperation with other countries. So there's that aspect.
Welcome back to Bakes on Things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Today, we're going to do what mainstream media seems to be refusing to do. We're going to show you what the world is actually saying and thinking about Canada in 2025. Not the fantasy they want to give you, not the liberal fan fiction, not the we're so special, everyone wants to be us bedtime story. The real global take, straight from the mouths of international journalists, foreign leaders, and of course comedians, because why not, who don't give a flying whatever about Canadian political sensitivities. And let me just give you a little bit of a spoiler alert here. It ain't flattering. So, not even close, actually. So, if you're a liberal watching this, you're going to be kind of shocked. Let's start with the United Kingdom, because the Liberals are using the UK as their go-to. You know, the country Liberals love to cite whenever they want to pretend that Canada's admired by the grown-ups. The Guardian took one look at Mark Carney's so-called nation-building investment plan, the big banner project he swore would transform Canada, and basically completely shrugged off both lists, both phase 1 and 2. Their analysis wasn't glowing at all. It wasn't even polite. It wasn't even cautiously optimistic about these projects. They flat out said the plan amounted to big talk, big numbers, and absolutely nothing that's going to improve the day-to-day lives of actual Canadians. In other words, nice PowerPoint, Mark. Too bad it won't fix a thing in your country. Literally the UK's take on all of this. Yeah, but they love him, though. You're right. Let's hop on over to the global press freedom community. You know them, the free press, the people who track democracy itself. Well, Canada dropped again in their list. Yes, again, on the World Press Freedom Index, which is what that list is called. Go look it up. Down to 21st. We used to be 7th. But sure, yeah, the love is being real showed here. We used to be admired. Now Reporters Without Borders is essentially telling the world, yeah, Canada's looking a little shaky these days, folks. Media concentration, police interference, protesters being arrested, you name it. This is what's happening here. Funny how liberals scream about how Carney is restoring trust in our institutions in Canada, while the rest of the world is literally watching our institutions leave, or if they stay, they wobble like a drunk guy trying to skate on ice. But the loudest alarm bell of all in all of this, the one that absolutely destroys the world loves us narrative, is coming from Europe itself, and the United States for that matter, over Canada's out-of-control assisted dying laws. Now, these are controversial even here, but international outlets are kind of shocked by how we're managing this. The Guardian itself is using words like troubling and disturbing and being questioned worldwide. PBO uses stupefying. This government's really earning some interesting phrases. Fox News ran a world segment on the jaw-dropping untold damage of assisted suicide and the movement that targets children right now. Children! And guess which country was the poster child of that entire segment? You guessed it, Canada. So let's recap on all of this. Declining global press freedom ranks, skepticism about Carney's policies, shock over our euthanasia laws. But don't worry, say liberal super fans, don't worry. The world loves us. Keyboard warrior. Now, the world watched Canada in 2025 and laughed. And not a polite Canadian laugh, a full, stomach-wrenching American laugh. When Mark Carney met Donald Trump and practically polished his shoes with his tongue, calling him a transformative president, guess what the world said? British outlets described it as sucking up. American commentators mocked the whole thing. YouTube news channels titled it exactly what it was. Mark Carney attempts to suck up to Donald Trump. That is what happened in not just his first meeting, his second, and his third. The world didn't see a power meeting. The world didn't see a powerful man meeting Donald Trump. The world saw outright bootlicking. And then came the humiliation when Reuters broke the story that Mark Carney actually apologized to Trump. Yes, apologized for a political ad he knew was coming out. A political ad supposedly quoting Ronald Reagan. And do you know what that Trump did after receiving that heartfelt Canadian surrender? He slapped on even harsher tariffs and froze trade talks anyway. Mark Carney and Donald Trump have barely talked. Look.
Yeah.
Good morning, Prime Minister. Ashley Brooks, CBC News. Since the U.S. called off trade talks with Canada, has Mr. Trump returned your calls, texts, or accepted your apology over the Ontario ad?
He accepted the apology when I spoke to him, and we've had discussions. I've been busy. This is another point, though. I've been busy. We passed a budget with that's going to catalyze $1 trillion of investment. We have launched new trade agreements. We've secured new investment in the country of a size not seen arguably before. So we're busy. He's got other things to do, and we'll re-engage when it's appropriate.
Globally, the image wasn't Canada is respected and loved. It was Canada got played again. And then came the comedy shows, because nothing says the world loves you the most like being the punchline on The Daily Show. Desi Lydic roasted Trump's obsession with annexing Canada, comparing it to a reality dating show if the spectrum was fascism. Then she showed Mark Carney, yes, Mark Carney, rejecting Trump's advances and said, Donald Trump just got friend-zoned. Canada is not going to F with you, is the exact quote. And the audience lost it because they know this is true. Canada wasn't respected in that segment. Canada wasn't admired. Canada was the awkward guy at the party, dodging weird romantic advances from the creepy uncle who's drunk in the corner. So this is the supposed loving global admiration liberals keep bragging about? I'm not seeing it. It's not anywhere. There's nobody saying good things about Mark Carney other than when he won. And that was only what they do to every person that wins. And just when you think the global criticism ends there, let me remind you, foreign outlets are also mocking our economy. Housing crisis internationally recognized. Lost productivity highlighted by IMF economists. Growth downgraded from 2% to 1.4%. That's not the world loves us. That's the world saying Canada's economy? Yeah, we're worried about you guys. Is that love? Yeah, it's love because of worry. Cities like Vancouver and Toronto get broadcast worldwide as cautionary tales. Outrageous housing prices, homelessness, drug chaos, decriminalization experiments that went off the rails. Foreign reporters film in BC and say, look at what happens when governments lose control, as they film drug addicts on the street. This is not admiration. This is not the love you keep commenting about in everybody's comment sections. And it's definitely not the glowing endorsement liberals in the comment section keep shouting about for Mark Carney. We don't see it. Nobody sees it. There are people, look at what Japan's prime minister said. Canada is an afterthought. The truth, and this is the part liberals hate the most, I get it, is that Canada's so-called glorious global image has been declining for years. Quietly, steadily, predictably even, and now under Mark Carney, it's become impossible for the world not to notice our troubles. They're not praising Mark Carney. They're not cheering for us. They're not pointing to Canada as a model nation. They're saying, here's what I'd do if I had a neighbor as big as the U.S. Jasmine said it last week on our show. They're pointing at us like a cautionary billboard. Don't let your country become this when you have the biggest economy next door and can't use them. So the next time some liberal commenter swoops into my videos or anyone else's that you see yelling, the world loves Mark Carney, well, just laugh. Not because the argument is wrong, not because it's naive. It is, but it's not because of that, but because the world, the actual world, has made its position on us perfectly clear. They love us, but out of pity. They're concerned about us. They're mocking us. They're criticizing us. They're warning each other about us. And in some cases, they're openly laughing at us. Canada doesn't need a self-esteem complex here. Canada needs accountability. Canada needs humility. And Canada needs leadership that isn't more concerned with global compliments than it is with fixing the problems in this nation happening right here on your doorstep right now at home. Because if you judge Canada solely by what the world is actually saying about us in 2025, well, one thing is perfectly, visibly clear. We're not the beloved international darling that liberals pretend we are. We were at one point in our history. We're not now. We're the punchline. And the whole world is watching. Thanks for watching Bakes on Things, The Last Word. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course, join the conversation down below. Are you going to post it again, liberals? Go for it. Go give it a try. Point out all the examples. It's going to be a fun one. And also, don't forget to join us tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for the first sip for your Tuesday. For now, have a great Monday evening, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Who cares? I spoke to him. I'll speak to him again when it matters.